Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike, also known as Doctor's Advocate. Today we are going to be covering the basics of Paper 4, what you should have expected from the March exam, and what others should expect for August, and what Paper 4 covers and what it consists of. I'm also going to show you the question paper on the next page. So, Paper 4 bookkeeping, it covers mainly 4 essential things. Basically, it's 4 things that are covered on the paper. It's not a lot, it's just 4 things, but it's a lot of information if you didn't study. But if you studied, it's just 4 concepts. The first one is the general accounting principles. Those principles are only 3. It's payment and deposits. Number 2, it's double entry. And number 3, it's VAT. So those are the main principles of accounting that you need to know in preparation of Paper 4, followed by correspondent, instructing and instructed correspondent, then investments, which is very simple. We cover it here at Simplified Academy. Investments is very simple. 3 types of investments, we cover them. And then there is conveyancing. Some say it's hard, but conveyancing in terms of Paper 4 bookkeeping, it's very simple and straightforward. You just need to know things. You just need to know what bank guarantee means and what pro forma account means. And we do cover that here at Simplified Academy. So these are essentially the concepts that you should expect in the board exams. Usually they will ask you 3 of this. Usually conveyancing has 40 marks. Usually correspondent has 40 marks. But they sometimes change it. So guys, so these are the main things. Investments and conveyancing is basically the same thing because they come as one question. So essentially, if you know these 4 concepts, you are going to be able to pass your exams, except maybe the theory part that I didn't include here. And that is it. Now let's look at the question paper for the last exam, the recent exam that just passed, the March exam, the 16 March exam. Yes, this is the question paper that the candidate attorneys, they wrote this one. So let's go over the question paper. Here you can just see just the basic stuff. And guys, I'm sorry about the noise. I don't know where it's coming from. The noise in the background like an engine, I don't know where it's coming from. So let's start over with question 1. Let me just explain question 1. I know like a lot of students, or let me just say a lot of candidate attorneys that were writing this question, some of them confused them because it is a mess. As you can see here, this question was made tricky, but the question is very easy, straightforward. It's just that there was a little trick that if you had attended the Simplified Academy course for bookkeeping, you would have known. So here the examiner, here you are a VAT vendor. You were supposed to reference VAT in your fees, and I'm sure if you didn't understand it, or if you just wrote without trying to find the VAT, I'm sure you made a mistake. You made a huge mistake. Here you are a VAT vendor, but they switched, they changed. They didn't give you some of the VAT, like you see for the first fee here. The first fee summons doesn't have VAT, but there's a VAT here. See, there's VAT 15%, which means you are a VAT vendor because VAT is discussed. So here on the summons, there was no VAT, which you were supposed to calculate the VAT. So essentially, before I get into that, let me just talk about the question. Question 1. Question 1 says that you send the following statement to your correspondent who has instructed you in 3 matters on behalf of the same client of his. So here we look at how the question is addressing you. This question was addressing you as the instructed. So you received instructions. The you is the important part of the question. The instructed, you are instructed. So here you are the instructed correspondent. The client does not belong to you. You are just the one who's being instructed by another attorney. So you use the instructed correspondent, which we cover here at Simplified Academy. So the correspondent, here you are a VAT vendor. Even though it's not mentioned that you are a VAT vendor, you are a VAT vendor. And every time you charge a fee, you must show the VAT. But here, it's only the fee and the allowance. This is the allowance. This is 20% allowance. So 15,000 is what you charged, what the client paid for summons, basically, and 3,000, it's essentially 20% of the allowance, which is the agreed upon sharing of fees. They didn't mention it here. You were just supposed to calculate it and find that it is 20% allowance. So here you needed to analyze. The only difference here is analyzing, but the question was the same as previous years. You just needed to analyze the allowance, the VAT. If you didn't do that, you were going to be in big trouble. So here there were like how many fees? 1, 2, 3, 4. So here essentially there were 4 fees. So essentially when there are 4 fees, you can get something like let's just say a one fee journal, maybe it has 4 marks. Then the other one, when you extend, it has let's just say 6 marks. So basically 6 times 4 is what you were gonna get for fees. So if you missed that, I'm sorry. You can join our course. We are going to cover it in the next exam. Okay, and then there's question 2. This is basically theory. Here at Simplified Academy, we don't really do much theory here because theory is only 10 marks. You can just go read the previous question papers and you're gonna get the theory, basically. And then there's question 3. Question 3 is the simplest, guys, here at Simplified Academy, and I know all my students passed this one. So when it comes to this question is always there in each and every question paper. This is free 15 marks. Here on this question, you just balance out everything, simple, straightforward. There was only one complication here. Maybe I can say the complication was it was a stop order. There was a stop order. Yes, the stop order here. The stop order was reversed, but this question is, if you read it carefully, you will understand that, okay, it takes you back to the same principles that were applied in the previous question papers. So basically, that was like the only confusing part, the number 3, a stop order that was reversed. That was like the only tricky part, but everything else was sweet, straightforward. That question was simple. Okay, and now we have conveyancing. Conveyancing, here it is. This is conveyancing. It also has a little bit of the previous question 3, but this is essentially conveyancing. Conveyancing is very easy here at Simplified Academy. We cover it in simple notes, 2 pages, I think. Conveyancing is only 2 pages, and in those 2 pages we summarize everything for you so that you know the essentials of passing this paper. So basically what I'm saying is that this paper was easy, it was straightforward. Many people were asking, there was one thing that people were asking in the exam. There was a question, the bank guarantee from ProBank. This one was written 2 times. So people were confused, asking questions like, how are we supposed to record it? This was the only confusing part for many people, but the rest of the question was easy. Basically, guys, this exam was very easy. Just that question 1 was a bit tricky, and if you got the trick from question 1, you passed this exam. I'm gonna create a memo for this question paper soon. I was just going over it now, like I was just reviewing it. Maybe for the people who haven't seen the question paper, I was just like showing you how it was. So basically here there was correspondent and conveyancing, and usually 90% of the time it's always conveyancing and correspondent. And then this one is always there, question 3. It's always in every question paper. If you check, every question paper that I have seen always has this question, and this is free 15 marks. So if you know one other question, either know conveyancing or correspondent, and then know question 3, then you will see that everything will work out for you if you just want to get a 50. So essentially, that is it. Thank you.